welcome to the Oceanic Pro League. My name is Michael Hingersing. I am definitely not Jake Spawn-Tiberi, who is taking a well-earned break from hosting this desk to focus on his casting, though don't worry, you won't be starved of his giant brain for too long because he'll be back on the desk as an analyst next week. A big thank you to him for letting me sit in this sweet chair. All right, thank you for joining us tonight. It's going to be great because we are fast approaching the business end of the OPL. This is day 1 of week 9 of Split 2, and we have a massive show for you tonight. And to talk us through exactly what's going on, I'm joined on the desk by Barento Raz Mohammed and Bryce Ejim Paul from the Chiefs Esports Club. Welcome to you both. Now, Ejim, how you feeling? It's the start of the week. It's Monday. How does it feel to be on a desk with Raz, who used to coach you?
Yeah. Me and Raz go way back. He coached me for a small period of time when I joined the Chiefs, and then he went on to other escapades. But I just
evacuated. Honestly.
Yeah.
I was like, get out of here. We're done.
Was Ejim the reason you left? You were just like
100%. The moment I looked at the roster, I was like,
no, not this guy. Not this guy. He's not good enough. He's not good enough.
I mean, you guys this last month have been having a bit of trouble, but you obviously picked up a very, very recent win. Does this mean you guys are back on form now?
I'd like to think so. We've been obviously having a lot of troubles. We lost 3 games in a row.
Sure.
Unlucky. I think we're back in form. I think we're on the up and up now.
Yeah? Excellent stuff.
Yep, definitely. Like the last game that they had was definitely clean. So I like to think that their next one against Sin might be nice.
Excellent. All right, well, let us get a bit of context and look at the standings as they are right now. So we have Legacy in top position, followed by Dire Wolves, Chiefs and Avant-Garde rounding out the top 4. Abyss, Tainted Minds, Sin, and Hellion still looking for that sweet first win of the split. How you guys feeling about Hellion? So they're gonna? Do you reckon they'll get it by the end of the season? What do you?
I hope so. Honestly, like we've never had a team go through the OPL without actually winning. So good luck to them, I guess.
All right,
it just feels bad. It's
just a huge feels bad.
All right, well, let us take a look at the schedule for this week as well. So we can take a look at the games. This week we see Legacy tonight taking on Abyss Esports in the OPL Legends match for that sweet belt. Avant-Garde will be taking on Tainted Minds. Then tomorrow, on Tuesday, we see Dire Wolves versus Hellions and Sin versus your Chiefs. How you feeling about that? You confident?
Very confident. I've always gone in confident against Sin, even though last time I kind of talked some smack and we lost. But no, I'm feeling good, All right, well, let us go straight to the first game. Actually, no, let's do it. This is going to be Legacy. They're going to be taking on Tally in the top lane, Carbon in the jungle, Choo-Choo's in mid lane, King 80 carry, and Kuden as support. They'll be taking on Abyss. Let's look at their line up. Pac-Man in the top lane, Seb in the jungle, Luch mid lane, Raid 80 carry, and T-Gun in support. Raz, let me start with you. We all know Legacy have been dominating this season, but give us a bit of context. Where are Abyss sitting right now?
Right now in the standings, it feels like they're at 5th place, right? They could just get into the 4th place slot that hits them the playoffs position. It's pretty close. Right now, they pretty much need Avant to lose both of their games and for Chiefs to at least lose one.
Well, walk us through their recent form. How have they been playing the last month or so?
Well, as you can see on your screen, it's been unfortunate for them because actually they demolished Dire Wolves and they demolished the Chiefs. Sorry about that one, buddy. And it's unfortunate because the fact that they had such an amazing late sprint and it feels like it's very possible that they could take this belt and still not be in the playoffs is a little.
I do miss that belt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How's it feeling?
Well, not very good. Seeing it on Legacy, the arch rivals.
Do we see? Is there maths that you can get it back? Can we move the belt around to get it back to you guys by the end of the season?
I'm not sure. Yeah. Actually, I haven't thought about that one.
Because we were saying before, if this belt could potentially be relegated, could work out in the relegation match. You're saying, Raz?
There's a lot of ifs.
Yeah,
I don't
ifs
even.
and buts.
There are so many other possibilities. I don't even want to talk about it. It's just. Goes along.
But if Abyss win tonight, are they then the informed team of the competition?
I feel like they've been steadily improving. I think I'm kind of going to roast them a bit now. I think they got a little bit lucky.
Against who? Against you guys?
No, against us, obviously. No. So like I think we were like mega slump and Dire Wolves were mega slump, and then so like their games. I guess they've had 3 games in a row where they're versing like the top 3 teams, or what I would consider the top 3 teams.
Sure.
And we weren't at form. Dire Wolves weren't at form. So good on them for picking up those wins. Legacy, I think, I'm not sure. Like, I guess we'll see this week, like how they actually stack up, or whether I'm just talking through my teeth, or whether it's
through your teeth.
Yeah.
I mean, you spent a bit of time with Legacy, right? So what makes them such a strong opponent tonight?
I think Tally is obviously Legacy's big big player. Like, they play through Tally. Carbon spends a lot of time in the top lane, ganking Vitaly, setting him up for the split pushes, and then like he kind of overtakes the game for them.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. I think that it's such a weird way to play. It's not weird. It's just, if I would like to say, kind of lazy, because of course that's just the one set that they continue to play forward, right? And so of course one team that 100% will know like how to deal with it. Not know how to deal with it, but like understand their play style is Abyss. So they will have like understood how to play against them. Perhaps maybe we'll see it in this set. So that's going to be interesting.
Do you see this game being decided in the jungle? I mean, we've got two heavy hitting junglers here in Seb and Carbon. I mean, what are you looking for from these guys?
So of course we see him. Yeah, that's pretty much kill participation. Hard word is a big one.
Learn to English.
Yeah, so we see a lot of Rek'Sai, a lot of Elise from both of them. I know we see Gragas as well. They're just the playmakers on that team. A lot of ganking, a lot of ganking.
Yeah.
They set their lanes ahead, and that's what they look to focus to do in the early game.
Yeah.
I think I would rate like Seb, although he's on a lower ladder team, like Abyss, not considered the same sort of tier as Legacy, but I think he is a very good jungler. And I think the jungle matchup will be relatively even tonight.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this is a must-win game for Abyss in many ways, right?
I think it could go like either way.
Yeah, right. I mean, so let's talk about supports then. I mean, if you found yourself injured, right, and Chiefs that needed support, who do you want out of these two teams? I mean, take a look at Akuden or T-Gun. Who do you want replacing you on the Chiefs?
I think, although I've had like a big rivalry with T-Gun in the past, I think I would definitely take T-Gun.
Right.
He's a playmaker like me. Like we say we play the same sort of like function within our teams. Kuden is more of like a peel-y player. Like he plays the Karma, plays the Braum, and he peels back for King.
Which is in the meta right now, yeah?
Yeah, that's in the meta. Like all these champions, like Karma, Braum, I would say the two best supports right now. So the meta definitely favors Kuden, even though I would take T-Gun over that because he's more of a playmaker, more of a big impact player. All
right, let's get to predictions. What are your thoughts? I'll go to you first, Raz.
Okay, so for the series, I actually want to say 2-1 for Abyss. I have high hopes.
Oh.
High hopes.
Oh.
High hopes. They've been playing extremely well. So, and I love their last game against Direwolves. It was a really quick win, and they just kind of snowballed on that one too. So if they can show that same form, I think it's possible.
All right, and Ejim, what do you reckon? What are your...
I am definitely on the other side of the coin. I think Legacy are going to 2-0 tonight. I think it'll be good, quick games. Hopefully, Legacy can back up what I've said on the desk. Hopefully, otherwise I'm going to look like an idiot. So, 2-0 to Legacy.
All right, now, obviously, these guys are going to be vying for a place in the finals. The OPL Split 2 finals will be in Brisbane on August 13. You'll be able to watch it live there, or alternatively, if you're around the country, you can go to various Hoyts cinemas. Tickets are available from the website, which should be on your screen where my hand is. No, it's gone. Well, we tried. All right, that's enough from us. Let us. We spoke to T-Gun earlier, so let's get his thoughts on the upcoming match, and then we'll be handing it over to the casters.
We have to beat Legacy. I mean, I would say they're the #1 team right now, but we have to hope for everything else to go our way as well. Don't get me wrong, I respect King. I respect that he's the best AD in the game right now, but just the way he acts frustrates the hell out of me. That kid has an ego bigger than anything else. But I mean, I shouldn't talk because I was exactly like that when I was younger. When I first started playing StarCraft, I was exactly like him. Most of the Australian scene didn't like me. And the Australian scene at that time was really tight-knit, and I was just this guy on my own, and I would always hype myself up, and that's why I'm really passionate. Whereas all these other people had like 5-6 friends that would like always talk to them, and so I can understand how he's like that, but I grew out of it, I guess. I hope he does too. Beating Chiefs and Dolls was great, but it sounds great when you win, right? But when we were losing versus Sin, I'm pretty sure that's how I broke my mice. The F1 key is still missing from my keyboard, like things like that. It's a double-edged sword, right? But after the wins, it's great. After the losses, it sucks. We've taken it every week. We've been against Chiefs, and people have said, "Oh, there's no way you beat Chiefs." Maybe you have a 15% shot.
So Abyss Esports, the third consecutive series that the Chiefs have gone
Same
down.
thing against Direwolves. People go, "Oh, maybe you got a 20% chance here."
This is amazing. First, they 2-0 the Chiefs. Then they 2-0
We beat them again quite handedly. So we just take it one game at a time. They can be the best team. They could be the worst team. We're not going to underestimate anyone. We're going to prep like we normally do and hopefully perform as well as we have been.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the caster desk. And look, heard from T-Gun, and the man sounds composed, Rusty, moving into this series, and he's going to have to be. Yeah, he definitely does sound composed. I think I've actually had a conversation with a couple of Abyss members, and they all feel like it comes down to how the teams perform on the day. So composure is necessity for both teams, honestly.
Yeah, and we'll see whether it's going to pay off, of course. Having some words about King there as well. And, of course, do you think Daddy Carbon's going to be able to help out keeping the young, egotistical mind in check?
That's the big question mark. If Carbos can keep it together or if Seb can rile them up, it can go either way for both of these teams.
Well, we'll see how it goes. We are under champion select here as Rise is going to take the first ban against Luch. Of course, can't give him those power picks, but interesting to see the Rise banned away on the blue side of the rift.
Yeah, I don't know how much Choo Choo's has played the Rise. We know that it's Luch's most played champion.
Yeah.
Albeit maybe not the best win rate. Still something that he has shone the brightest on and been able to take people like Swiffer out in the 1v1s.
Well, Abyss sticking to their Twisted Fate ban here as well. Choo Choo's notable Twisted Fate player, so don't want to see that one. Even if they are on the red side, no counter pick available, as Ezreal's going to be taken away from Raid.
Yeah.
Interesting mix-up in the bans here, Rusty.
So I guess the real interesting aspect of the Ezreal ban is that King has actually played it 8 times as well, and is 7-1 on the champion. So he's definitely a strong performing Ezreal himself, but I guess it's removing the option from Raid. You got to remember blue side, red side, and Legacy might be focusing a Rek'Sai perhaps with their first rotation. And so they don't want to pick the Ezreal, which means Abyss could.
Yeah, of course, things like, Malzahar, Vladimir, both of them still available for now. Legacy will see whether they stick to this target ban strategy as T-Gun's Karma is going to go. Now Abyss with their option. Looking at something like a Sivir for that movement speed potentially could be there for first round of picks for both of these teams, but Abyss now currently looking for that Vladimir button. We'll see whether they find it.
Yeah, look, you would assume it's the Vlad button, particularly with the Karma taken off the Rift. One of the few champions that we've actually seen picked in as a countermeasure to that.
We found it.
And they found the button.
It's all okay. It's Tally thinking about that first pick, and will it be the Rek'Sai? I mean, we've got 2 very notable Elise players here as well. They can both play the Gragas. So it may not necessarily be the priority, as Azir is going to be locked away first. Denial from Luch, and of course one of Choo Choo's fantastic champions.
Yeah, big strategy a lot of teams have actually been implementing when playing against Luch is banning him out and picking away from him. We've seen him banned out to the point where he went back to Orianna.
Yeah.
Something that isn't generally seen in the current meta for mid lane champions. So not a surprise for this to be a first rotation for Legacy, particularly considering that Rek'Sai and Elise are both available. I will say that Carbon on Rek'Sai does feel a little bit more consistent with his performance than that of the Elise. He kind of plays Elise like he does Rek'Sai, and you don't have tunnels to save you in a lot of situations in that respect.
That's a very good point. As now Abyss have currently hovered the Gangplank Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai seeming like the one that would make a lot of sense, but there's the Sivir we were talking about before, so no golden combo in all of that wave clear for Legacy. And Abyss going to take away the Sivir.
Knocking themselves in a pretty strong combo, honestly, from the side of Abyss.
Wow.
Legacy, no hesitation.
Absolutely not. So the Gnar picked up for Tally can knock people into the wall that Choo Choo's can set up on that Azir, but both solo laners now taken away as well as that Braum. So showing their hand a little bit here.
It has been said by even Pac-Man on the opposite side of the Rift that Gnar is a counter to Trundle.
Yeah,
and
that's
perhaps it will be utilized in that respect as a denial of the Trundle pick from Abyss. But that is an early rotation. Once again, almost seemingly away from Abyss with that Gnar lock in for Tally. It's a nice little medium as well when you think about it, between split pushing strength, team fighting strength, individual 1v1 prowess as well. We'll see what they do into it.
Yeah, Pac-Man probably going to be shying away from something like a melee matchup just because that's where Gnar really does excel. We'll see whether he is going to go back to something other than that or whether he just cops it and says, well, Tally, you can go and do whatever the heck you want. I'm going to do my best to farm up and get things going on as Swain is the hover, and T-Gun going to take away his Janna as Luch locks in the Swain.
Yeah, so T-Gun getting the Janna. That could be a Swain top, something that Pac-Man has played.
Yep.
Reasonably successfully as well. Be interesting to see which they choose, and again, being on red side and saving that mid/top pick till last, they get the option of choosing. But they know what they're against anyway. We'll see what it does.
Well, Gragas going to be locked away here for Carbon as King now thinking about what he wants to take into the Eddie carry position. Cassiopeia would be an unorthodox choice and probably not one that he's going to opt into. But I actually do really like the Swain into the Gnar, just because, you do have that added range, so you can sort of stay toe-to-toe with the Gnar in that mini Gnar form, which can be very, very frustrating as he switches back to the Lucian.
Yeah, so they lock in the Lucian-Braum combo as the bottom lane duo. Now King and Kooten have looked quite strong utilizing that in most of the games that they have played it. They've got their carry threat in the top lane, who has that double entendre of team fighting, and Carbon's picked up an early, aggressive, pressure-based jungler that can keep up with the likes of Seb.
Yep.
Can also clear about as fast as Seb. I think it makes a lot of sense here from Legacy. It's pretty well-rounded, but mostly in the way of standing their ground. Of course, Gragas can engage and disengage, but that zone control that they have with a Braum and an Azir, and to an extent, it's quite dangerous.
Yeah, it's very true. We'll rely on flank timing with that Mega Gnar as well, making sure that Tally can get in there at the right times. As Luch, he's going to lock away the Victor. No surprises here, as the man can pick up a lot of farm on Victor, and therefore, he will lock it in.
Yeah, Victor just a very well-rounded champion, knows that he's against the Azir, and something that should be pretty much an even matchup, depending on how they play it out. Of course, mistakes do happen, but Luch has been stepping up to the plate pretty big recently.
Yeah.
He's been taking names on some of the best mid laners in the OPL.
I actually really like the roundedness of this Abyss comp as well. I mean, they've got Rek'Sai for a little bit of added physical damage, not to mention Sivir, who's going to be massive come the later stages of the game. And then they've got this double AP comp, really forcing Legacy to build that magic resist early on.
Yeah, and they have the Rek'Sai with a bit of extra physical damage to boot. So in terms of damage output, it's pretty well rounded from Abyss. They have a reasonable amount of engage. It needs to kind of combo together effectively, and that's really my big question mark for the Abyss lineup. They've got team fighting, they've got damage pretty much everywhere, but if it's not a flash Rek'Sai knock-up, then it has to be like a never move, honestly, from the Swain, and that's pretty difficult to engage a team fight with when you look at their opposition who actually have disengage everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. They've got disengage everywhere, but you said that they're one of these sort of stand and deliver type compositions. Are we going to see standoffs here on the Rift, Rusty?
Well, there may be a standoff. I think best case scenario for Abyss is Legacy actually moving towards them. It's something that was actually successful for Abyss when they played against the Direwolves, who were running a poke comp trying to engage on them.
Yeah, certainly not working out there, but we want to hear from you. Hop onto Twitter, ladies and gentlemen. Use the hashtag LGCWin if you think that Legacy can retain their OPL Legends title, or if you believe in the Comeback Kings, the tear that Abyss are on at the moment. Use that hashtag AEWin and let us know, because this could be the magical story of their ride to the playoffs, or it could all just end here.
Yeah, they took the Cinderella tagline almost.
Yeah, they did.
Sin.
I almost said it, and it was very confusing for me.
No, but this is really important for Abyss. It's a must-win series, first and foremost.
Yep.
And it's also to complete the holy trinity, essentially, of the top 3 teams in the OPL all the same.
And I believe if Legacy win this, but then Chiefs lose their next 2 games, Abyss may have an opportunity to get up there, but will be very, very difficult if they don't manage to take down this game. Legacy starting off on our blue side as we hop onto the Rift. Don't see too much grouping apart from Abyss now, moving towards Choose. Wanted to get that lane swap vision down. We'll see whether they're going for a lane swap themselves, wanting to hide the Sivir early, or something else.
They may well. We'll see what happens here. There's this aggressive movements from Abyss. They don't want a level 1 fight by any means. It's more just to get that vision. Ensure that their strategy or Legacy strategies will either work or not work, respectively.
Yep. One thing I do really like is the fact that they have On the Hunt. They have Tailwind there from T-Gun as well for extra disengage potential if they need it.
Rest in peace, Captain Boots.
Yeah, very good point, very good point. But it does give the Swain and the Victor largely immobile champions, or low mobility champions, because immobile, of course, means stopped, and they're walking at the moment, so not going to happen.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, we'll see whether they can actually get the movement speed, get into these fights against Legacy, who do have a lot to bring to the table.
Yeah, well, Victor, as you mentioned, wants to have extra mobility and move speed. Runs the Ghosts almost specifically for that.
Yeah.
Keep up with people, throw out spells. It's a high cooldown champion as well.
Yep.
In that respect, so until you have cooldown reduction, you'd want to be keeping up to do the damage, and the closer you are to the Chaos Storm, the faster it actually travels. There's a lot of merit to that.
You can see Legacy now moving down. Standard lanes are going to ensue despite all of the vision gained here by Abyss. See whether it falls into what they want. Of course, Raid wanted to shove this wave out as quickly as possible. And see whether T-Gun can keep him safe on the Janna picker.
And you would expect Swain to be fine in that 1v1 matchup in the top lane. However, if you put him into a lane swap, things may not have been so great for Pac-Man, where Tally can still kick it off quite nicely with the bonus AD that he provides as a Gnar.
Yeah, good point.
The standard lanes are going to be an okay outcome for both of the teams. I think the major benefactor will initially be Pac-Man, but a Sivir Janna would have been quite good at turret taking.
Yeah, good point. Well, we'll see how things are going to develop. Does mean that these junglers are going to get an eye in very early on with the standard lane situation. We'll see who's going to be ganking first, whether it's going to be that flash body slam coming out of Carbon to really get things going, or whether Seb is going going to be able to find his impact. Nice laser bird comes out as Tally not going to find the wallop. Will, however, keep shoving this wave in.
Really bold sounds, the Mega Knight. Except for the clock noise.
I really like a Dr. Jekyll Mr. Hyde skin for now. Piercing Light comes down. Nice Howling Gale for the disengage there from T-Gun. Unbreakable stopping a lot of this return damage onto Kudin.
Yeah, of course, you can spell shield the stun that a Braum gives you as Sivir. Works out nicely for him as junglers, something we have highlighted, now about to meet each other.
Yeah, this Grump actually going to be contested as nice body slam comes in. Seb may have to flash this one as everyone flashes over. The shield comes in. Eye of the Storm there from T-Gun keeps Seb alive as Pre-Seeker flies through. Nice Ricochet getting some value onto this Legacy bottom lane and jungle.
Aggressive move from Legacy. King, of course, used his dash over that wall. Instead of chasing for the kill, they have to back away. Raiden T-Gun effectively winning this bottom lane to an extent now.
Tally also just teleported back in top and is now half health.
Yeah, that happens.
Swain, everyone.
Well, when you teleport within range of the spell combo, it'll definitely happen. Pac-Man's been stepping up pretty big lately as well.
Damn right. Him and Seb, the players that actually most recently came to this Abyss roster, really looking good.
Of course, they are against two of the stronger opponents on the opposite side of the Rift, so this is a big test for them once again. But we said that last time, and they still did it.
Mm-hmm. At the moment, this bottom lane really looking like Legacy's strong point. Although, some extra space given as Gravity Field comes down. Choose just wanders casually out of the way of it. We'll continue farming things up. Negatron Cloak purchased for the Azir as now Luch looking to go back to base. Doesn't have a whole host of mana. Hopefully looking for that first Hex Core purchase.
Yeah, he's due for his recall, definitely. This top lane still stands out a little bit. Surprisingly, however, Tally has still kept up in farm.
Yep.
He's doing well.
Using his health bar as a resource just a little bit there, Rusty.
Yeah, but Pac-Man has that teleport advantage and is waiting to have enough gold for a catalyst, so we'll get the full first buy, and that sets the Swain up to essentially just be like at that full power point that he likes to be at.
Well, these minions pretty ruined. As Raid is able to pick up one of them underneath the turret. 33 to 38 now. As King backs away, waits for these waves to reset. Legacy out to a slight lead so far. No big deals at all, and we'll see what Seb can get done. Currently a little bit ahead in farm despite the early aggression that Carbon was throwing his way.
And speaking of Carbon, that's actually a big deal to me already, as he went Sightstone on his Gragas as an immediate purchase. Says a lot about how they want to play this game out. Don't give Seb any control, honestly, at all. Keep tabs on him at all times. Maybe stop his ganking. Both junglers have been known to be gank prone.
That's a really good point. And of course, I mean, we've been talking about it. Seb has been stepping up for Abyss. So Legacy also identifying that one as Luch. Going to take a Thunderlord's proc and a couple of auto attacks from these Sand Soldiers. Does need to be careful here in the mid lane, despite having now all of that extra wave clear.
They're not having the greatest time in this middle lane against Choose, but such is the nature of Azir's trade patterns. You need to get inside it to do the damage, and Choose has a level advantage, as said here. So I don't think he'll flash for that. That would be greedy.
Also impossible, given the state of his flash cooldown.
Ah, yes.
But he's going to pressure away Choose, and more importantly, gives Luch the cannon minion. Understands that if Luch doesn't get his cannon minions, there could be problems on Summoner's Rift.
Well, that's a tilter.
Mm-hmm.
Someone ever comes into your lane as a jungler and takes your cannon.
We've all been there. Everyone knows. Choose nicely CSing all of these minions. Luch looking to grab these underneath the turret will be able to do so quite nicely. The Death Ray going to help him out as Luch taking a lot of damage underneath this turret. In goes Carbon. Really nice gravity field there from Luch as he throws down the Chaos Storm but doesn't quite find the damage. And Carbon casually wanders away.
That was actually really needless from Luch. He put himself within flash body slam range to throw down that Chaos Storm. If Carbon was ready for that, then he would have just killed him. Not sold. There's the ultimate gone from the Victor. Azir's pressure starts to reign supreme.
Sometimes, you know, the unexpected choice is the good one in this team.
The unseen mistake is the deadliest.
Yeah, something like that. Nevermove's going to come in. Tally actually taking a lot of damage from this Ravenous block out of Pac-Man. Like you said, the Catalyst picked up early. Will have a lot of that mana regen. As there's Beatrice to help him out. And Tally, teleport back available one more time. He wants to be able to pick up that Hex Drinker ASAP.
Yeah, the fact that he's working towards the Hex Drinker but has recalled twice as interim purchases is causing a lot of problems in that top lane. Pac-Man has got his trading item. We spoke to Tally using his health as a resource. That's Swain's ball court, and they play towards it now. Still, teleport advantage is not going to be utilized in that top lane whatsoever. No plays being made for the Ocean Drake, which is quite a valuable early one. Feels like most of the fighting has been around vision control through sight stones and scuttle crabs. And inch by inch, someone should be getting control, but it feels quite equal still.
Yeah, well, you can see Seb. I mean, he did disturb the Wolf Spirit, so Tally knows what's going on, but still going to get some aggression. Seb just making his presence known towards the top side of the map. Void Rush on cooldown for the moment. We'll be back relatively soon to get him away, and clears out the pink board here as well. So Pac-Man with control.
Yeah, again, one of the benefits of Rek'Sai on Summoner's Rift is, even though the Drake is a present priority for both of the teams, Choose needs to be careful here.
Certainly does. There's the flash. Gets the knock up onto Choose as Luch throws down the death ray. They get the flash out of the Azir. He's very low on health, and Luch holding back this lane.
Guess who would have liked a Chaos Storm there?
It's off cooldown.
It is now.
Ah.
It wasn't. The answer is Luch. He would have liked a Chaos Storm there. Of course, flash expended by both, so for what it's worth, Seb can come back a second time and try and catch Choose out. He does still have his ulti though, so could just be a spell every time.
You can see this relegated to their jungle here towards the bottom side of the map is now Carbon being chased into the Dragon Pit. He'll be able to body slam his way out. And does so towards the mid lane. Now blue buff going to be delivered to Luch. Seb going to help him out.
So one big difference between both of these teams at the moment is actually the bottom lane 2v2.
Yeah, huge.
King's starting to amass himself a decent gold lead as they're looking for Luch.
Yeah, there's the flash body slam as Luch flashes out of the way. Gravity Field's there. Chaos Storm goes down, but Luch delivered back towards his turret. Seb looks for the knock-up as Luch is desperately trying to hold on. Gets the shield from the Q and will survive as now Choose 200 health. Preyseeker not going to do it, but Carbon is going to fall, and first blood goes to Luch with a death ray.
Carbon walks back into range and actually goes down, so Abyss get the first kill of the game and already pressure out Choo-Choos. This is a lot of time now to work on this middle lane. They could look towards the Drake as the objective if they choose. But at this point, you just take that victory, take the double buffs that the Victor's now got for himself, and that kill, and potentially put him on that pedestal. Luch always knows how to carry.
Yeah, well, 2 teleports are now used from Legacy as King getting aggressive onto Raid. Nice damage comes down as there's the Glacial Storm, but King picks up the kill. Monsoon's not enough from T-Gun, who lets it heal himself up. But Legacy winning through this bottom lane.
T-Gun had Exhaust that entire time, and Raid also had Flash. Feels like the knockup from the Braum was enough to actually secure the kill, but no summoners being used is definitely a cause for concern. There are some alarm bells ringing.
Damn right.
For the bottom lane of Abyss. As Legacy now get to make the play.
Yeah, transition over to this Dragon, so off their kill, able to pick up the objective. See Luch still behind in farm as well, but you can see Choo-Choo's helping out with this Dragon, meaning that Luch will get some time in that mid lane. Pac-Man still amassing a lead towards the top side of the map, wants that Rod of Ages as soon as possible. So next Dragon is going to be a Cloud Drake. King has to...
He will get one now.
Yeah, he's going to get out of there. Seb needs to pay some attention though, because T-Gun's not going to be able to fight him on his own. Or at all.
King says thank you to T-Gun for the passive stacks. So he has his dash up quicker. It is an early Ocean Drake. 11 minutes is not all too early, but being the first Drake of the game, having that extra sustain in the way of health and mana will prove quite useful for Legacy, as once again it feels like the bottom lane is the big point of power that they're looking towards. The Nar's still going to be relevant at all stages, even though Pac-Man's doing well. Same thing goes for the Gragas, and the Azir's still farming. But the major discrepancy is this Lucian.
You can see actually Luch is coming down towards the bottom side as there's the Nara to Pac-Man wallop on top of him as well as Ravenous Block comes in. Nice double use of the Never Move. However, he will still fall down. 4 members, too many for Pac-Man to deal with. And Legacy now move towards the outer turret.
Yeah, so they start actively making these trades. Seb was quite proactive in his positioning, but evidently it's on the opposite side of the map. They can still continue to push this, and they will have enough time, you would imagine, to get a lot of its health bar actually down, because Legacy were late to the punch in that Abyss were actually already pushing the turret with a big stack of minions by the time they got top lane at all.
Now still working on this bottom side of the map as Choose Not going to be able to do anything to clear this one out. Seb just going to burrow his way over. That Cinderhawk already there, so he's very tanky. And look at that tunnel network set up in Legacy's jungle. King will only now get the outer turret towards the top side, so Abyss holding onto that gold lead.
Yeah, it's definitely good movements once again from Abyss. There's 2 turrets for just the one, and the kill is the added bonus. Legacy do have a Drake, so in terms of objectives, it's still at equal.
Good point.
If they get this.
Pac-Man throws down the never move, doesn't find King with it though, but Ravenous Flock doing some work. Pac-Man just eats the whole culling. The heal comes out from King as Pac-Man now has to turn around. Barrel not going to be enough as he calls back his birds, and Seb is looking for King. Does have the flash, gets the flash onto Carbon there, but nice escape from King. Gets himself out.
Yeah, really good interrupt actually from Carbon with the body slam. Stops the tunnel halfway. So King's able to just walk it out. Of course, Summon is burned by that Lucian in the last engage. Swain does do a lot of damage. But the turret does go down. This is actually still a problem for Legacy, however, as Abyss have already moved to the top side of the rift. And it's only a Gnar trying to hit the turret, so they have to try and hold this as a Braum Gragas.
Yeah, currently 3 versus 2 as Seb looking for the dive actually as Carbon going down very low. Monsoon comes in just for a reposition, but King finally makes his way back. There's the exhaust you were talking about as Kuden's going to catch onto Seb. Tries to tunnel out but gets killed halfway through. Now King with the cleanup. Choose now turning up to try and get some work done as Howling Gale doesn't find him. Raid flashes over the top of the Emperor's Divide. Nice disengage from Abyss.
A little bit too predictable from Choo-Choo's in the end there, but they do push themselves out. Abyss, they try to get the turret down, but Legacy actually collapses a big unit of members, and they can hold the fort. Not only that, they make it work out better for them. In fact, the Carbon doesn't die. Ultimately could be the undoing once again of this Abyss roster, as King is a monster.
He certainly is. 129 CS here as Raid still just getting over that 100 mark. Essence Reaver almost done, but King's got his Ghost Blade. Also building towards his Berserker's Greaves and the Black Cleaver as well, and he'll have that 2-item Power Spike very soon. Luch has his perfect Hex Core, that is definitely good. That's a Nash's Tooth as well as the Negatron Cloak now built up for Choose, and the Azir is getting online. Dangerous, and if we're talking about Power Spikes for both of these teams, Rusty, when are we getting scared on behalf of Abyss, and when do they find their way back in?
I mean, interestingly enough, Legacy have gone for a more of Malmortius on that Gnar, so he's building himself a middle point between team fighting and laning phase. And I think they'll find that they can actually start fighting sooner rather than later, as long as they work around King. Abyss, they're getting closer, but you would imagine the 2-item spikes actually where they start to really propel themselves forward. Luch only having the completed Hex Core means he's about a Rylai's away from the highest point of his power. They've got a little while to go here, Abyss. Need to hold on and farm.
Well, Luch runs through his own gravity field as now Choose taking a bit of damage. King jumps over the top. Seb's pretty tanky. There's Kuden looking to try and help out. Lots of pings here from Legacy as they're looking for something. Don't find it. Just setting up some vision. Things go down and Abyss holding onto this area as best they can.
And again, really deep positioning actually from the Swain, and the rest of Abyss now trying to fight for vision around the Drake that'll be up in a minute. So they can still look for things with how tanky Seb is and T-Gun's utility.
Oh, that's the flank. Exactly right. Pac-Man makes his way in. Look at the damage onto King, who is going to be the focus. Nevermove doesn't find him as Seb still alive for the moment, but Tally picks it up with a massive Gnar in the backline. Raid, really good spell shield as Tally falling down extraordinarily low. However, they've only lost 2. And Abyss now trying to crawl away. Choose looking for a bit more. The Sand Soldiers don't find the reach, but Abyss can't find the team fight against Legacy.
Yeah, and they do lose a lot of members and almost a whole lot more. Big fight actually out of Tally, as the rest of the Legacy roster actually just fought to get away from Pac-Man and end up actually taking him down for it. Already spoke towards Abyss's ability to fight. They were close to getting the team fight work out for them due to the engage out of Seb and the follow-up from Pac-Man, but the kills weren't there.
And Tally with that perfect flank as well stopped all of the Sivir damage on the rest of the team. Bit of a disaster here as Luch trying to clear up this minion wave. Will do so quite nicely. We'll head back to base. We'll see whether he can get the components of that Rylai's Crystal Scepter, whether he's going to opt into grabbing Giant's Belt first if he's feeling in danger, or whether that needlessly large rod needs to come in. But no, actually deciding to go for some cooldown reduction. Fiendish Codex.
Yeah, that could go either way in terms of item builds as well. See what Luch prefers.
Interesting. It certainly is. Cloud Drake is going to be taken here from Legacy as Howling Gale just sails on by, celebrates the take, as Mountain Drake is going to be the next one. So Ocean and Cloud. Mountain next. We'll see whether Abyss are going to try and contest for that one a little bit more, I guess, optimal. As Seb just launches his way out of the opposing jungle, back onto his bottom side of the map. As Luch is moving down to the bottom lane. 4 members of Legacy down here, and Tally looking for that solo gold. Great, throws a boomerang across. There's the Eye of the Storm as Tally is able to get through it with the help of King.
Abyss were playing around the fact that Legacy might have actually backed away or recalled. But they hadn't, so they come back in to ensure it does go down. On the flip side, Pac-Man's trying to trade these objectives, and Seb's decision to be bottom instead of helping him top lane, you'd expect might actually slow that movement down. Could have used his ultimate at any time.
Yeah.
It felt like Abyss were actually actively looking to contest, but with nowhere to do it. As Legacy have the jump, they just concede.
They do. Outer turret falls on the top side of the map though. Pac-Man getting some work done. 0-2-0, however, on this Swain, looking for the second items on his Hourglass. Of course, he's only a little bit away from that. His comp will scale. Raid needs to start picking up some farm, and is doing so, but slowly.
Yeah, no, they definitely scale when you look at the side of Abyss, but you compare that to Legacy and you feel like the scaling's almost equal.
Yeah.
With one having low-range spell-weaving AD carries, the other having a spell shield with that same range. Honestly, just doesn't feel like there's a whole lot between these teams besides the already accrued Drakes and slight gold edge.
Wow, nice knock-up set. There's the barrel. Seb actually delivered back to Carbon. Flashes out of the way. Eye of the Storm there, keeping him alive, but doesn't actually cop any damage after the flash.
Still a good ulti from Carbon. Gets his eye in on the mechanics.
Damn right.
He's definitely still got it.
The Herald is going to go home. Kuden Winters bites the minion, gives it over to Choose. Baron's going to be up in 3 seconds. Mountain Drake, not for the next little while, but Legacy still setting up vision. King's able to take down this ward quite easily. They'll steal away this blue buff as well. Abyss getting their jungle stolen away from them right now.
Yeah, they are. Feels like Legacy definitely have that control. Seb being pushed out, albeit with full health, means that the side of the jungle is now Legacy. They can even walk through 2 pink wards and set themselves up for it quite easily. Abyss just don't have a response available at the moment. They're playing this one quite steadily.
Yeah, measured play right now. Abyss not wanting to take any chances and might bite them as we move into the later stages of the game, just because King, he's hitting his power spikes, just needs to get the completion on that Black Cleaver and he'll be a menace on the map.
And actually get 2 blue buffs here for Legacy as well, one to King, one to Choo-Choo's. In terms of relative strength, it's actually quite a big buff for them.
Oh yeah.
Maxing out cooldown reduction for King. 15% bonus ability power for Choose, and all of the mana regeneration. Spell weaving for that Lucian has never felt so easy.
Right, as well as the fact that they deny it from Luch and Pac-Man. I mean, they're the team that looks like they'd really like 2 blue buffs, to be perfectly honest. Neither of them going to have it.
And of course, the rule of thumb, even on the old Swain, was fight for every blue buff, much like the Anivias. Being a top laner now makes that a little bit harder.
Well, Zhonya's is done. So Pac-Man, teamfight ready at the moment. See whether he's ready enough. Luch with his Morellonomicon completed. We're going to go up against Choose. So a lot of damage here for the Victor, that's still very squishy.
Yeah, goes the cooldown reduction mana regeneration route. Just wants to keep farming the middle lane and hold on for dear life as his team continues to scale. They will have a lot of threat in late game team fighting, but once again we already spoke to wanting Legacy to come at them because their engage is a little bit lacking.
Luch is able to help clear out vision here as Carbon just playing gatekeeper for Abyss into their own jungle.
Yeah, he's decided that this part of the map is now his. That bush, that's my pink ward. He's defending it for his life.
Tegan doing the best he can. Trying to get some work done as might be caught out here. Moves down the Gale. He's going to be fine, but that pink ward is going to go. And Legacy own the top side of the map. Raid can no longer overextend towards that top side.
Tegan does still have another pink ward. They are still playing around the Baron, though Legacy is the point they want to fight for. It almost feels like they are fighting it as we speak.
There's no reason for those two to still be there if they're not. Really good point as they have started it up. Seb throws in a Prey Seeker. Baron going to be disengaged from as the pink ward. He's going to spot the ward in the back of the pit. However, Kuden going to be the one that goes and picks that one up.
I actually don't think Legacy could have finished that as a two-man unit anyway. They were getting very low on Carbon's health bar. He doesn't have a lot of damage and he's running the Cinderhulk build, so that speaks a lot to the damage Baron had done to him already. This gives a window of opportunity for Abyss actually to try and siege. It's going to be hard to do against the Mega Gnar timing though of Tally.
Yeah, and Chu's having a whole lot of that wave clear as well, so absolutely fine. Legacy hold on to their outer turret. Still feels like a bit of a wash, however. Cinderhulk and the Spirit Visage are done for Seb. Can withstand a lot of Chu's damage.
And now they move towards the Drake. They tried the Baron. They actually got forced out. But they got forced out with enough time to be able to recall successfully and set themselves up for the next objective. Legacy are advancing in their movements. They're trying to be more aggressive.
Great. Throws down the ultimate, actually. Good spell shield, but that is a big cooldown now.
I didn't see them. I'm not sure. He must have been checking his minimap.
No.
He was camera surfing.
Well, Chu's going to teleport back into the mid lane. Now you can see Carbon, a little bit of help from his friends, is going to take down this Mountain Drake. 3 dragons to Legacy. Well and truly in control of this neutral objective. And it looks like, as far as that jungle matchup that we were talking about, Carbon versus Seb, Carbon looking all over it in this early stage, despite being slightly down in the jungle farm.
Yeah, he definitely is controlling the map. He's had a lot more opportunities to fight. Legacy across the board are feeling slightly ahead of their respective opponents. It is a very slow, patient game, honestly. This Legacy roster.
Wow! King gets the solo onto Luch. Threw down the culling. We saw him walking through the jungle as Pac-Man now looking to try and grab one back. There's the Ghost Blade, and King has got something to prove. Carbon makes his way over, throws down the Zhonyas as the bird's in there, flashes out of the way. Now King with the shield. Nice escape via the explosive cast. Legacy, they get the 1 kill. Move out.
Yeah, King still had his flash, so he was able to play that aggressively, knowing that his team was indeed collapsing. He doesn't have health now, though, and should definitely start respecting the strength that Abyss could follow up with. It was very impressively done from King. We already said Legacy were calm, collected, and slow in the way they're actually working around Summoner's Rift. Well, their wildcard option is always going to be that AD carry.
Damn right.
It's starting to pop off in game number 1.
Certainly is. Has that Hex Drinker almost to the more of Malmortius as well. That Serrated Dirk comes in. 4-0 and 2. This guy's a monster. Scaling still in Raid's hands, but it's becoming a different conversation than that as Abyss are falling behind. 2,000 gold now the lead for Legacy. We'll need to solidify that one though, as Abyss still holding on. That turret advantage that they've managed to take down with both outers, top and bottom, and the inner turret on the bottom side of the map as well.
It's like Tahm Kench's great health, you know?
Yeah.
Come back.
Tegan actually just messing with Carbon a little bit here. Luch goes down to half health from Chu's. Legacy with the position around this Baron. Pac-Man up towards the top side finds King. Seb looking to clear out this aggressive vision from Legacy.
Yeah, they're making movements towards pretty much exclusively the Baron. They've got Tally bottom so that he can teleport in. And that's the immediate signal for both teams. The Baron's going to be what they look towards. Big battle around that vision control because Legacy can't just do it, especially when King was pushing lanes. And they can't hide King forever because he does need to continue farming and accelerating his lead. As now they look at Luch.
Oh, there's the body slam, and the barrel comes out as well. Luch is going to die as Chus picks up the kill. The outer turret is going to be another prize for Legacy as they even up the turret count. 4,000 gold all of a sudden here for our OPL legends who are taking control of the map.
Now we're waiting for that standing gold. The immediate teleport from Tally as well signals the go button on the Baron. They take this quickly, but Carbon's zoning away, so might want to come in and smite it. It is gone though.
Look at how much damage that is. That is ridiculous as Tally's going to launch his way over, gets the bounce. Big double Gnar onto Seb and T-Gun, and T-Gun's going to fall. King going to pick up the kill. Seb now running away to his inner turret on the top side of the map. We lose 2. And Luch is looking out of sorts today.
Yeah, most of the control on Summoner's Rift has come down to this Victor. And the fact that he gets 1v1'd by King in a situation off-screen and then gets picked off by Carbon's movements literally through Abyss's jungle for the second one. They just pull the plug.
Yeah.
Abyss are definitely struggling, but it is through the small baby steps that Legacy took forward. And after a couple of them, it explodes outwards now. And that gold lead has followed.
It certainly has. That Baron buff is only going to make that gold lead grow even further as they're now spreading it around the map. See whether they can siege down any of these turrets as Tally looking to get to work on the bottom side. King doing the same thing on the top side of the map.
Tally having no teleport. Abyss may have a window of opportunity, but it is against a Baroned up enemy. So they need to show respect.
And Luch's wave clear not as important now as well as all of that magic damage, not exactly helping. But when they move away, those minions become a lot easier to kill.
Luch can still definitely kill champions. He does need his Void Staff, though, against all the magic resistance that Legacy have put together.
Yeah.
Knowing they're against the Swain and the Victor, the solo lane is the naturally stronger mid-game champions due to those levels that they have. They've built themselves up the tools to succeed at the 28-minute mark, and it's working.
See, Luch throws down the Chaos Storm onto Choose here. Perfect Hex Core allows it to catch up for another proc. Choose only takes half of his health bar. Abyssal Scepter helping him out there as well, so not too worried.
Yeah, but only held half of his health bar. Still a fair bit as they now found Tally.
Yeah, nice knock up. There's the Gnar as the Never Move does land on a Tally. Beatrice slows him down for the moment, but you can see the dive towards the top side of the map. Raid gets body slammed on. Really nice spell shield as T-Gun throws down the Monsoon, and Luch looking for more. Gravity Field comes in as Pac-Man teleported. Never moves over the top. Choose taking a lot of damage there as the Zhonya's comes in from the Swain. He's on the wrong side of the fight, but Raid picks up Carbon. King now in trouble as Emperor's Divide doesn't quite find enough as Pac-Man's over the side, helping pick up the damage. Boomerang doesn't find King, who's still definitely a monster. But the inhibitor turret falls on the bottom side of the map. Abyss may have somewhat won that fight in a 2-for-1 trade. However, yeah, they lose the inhibitor turret, and Tally's doing work.
And such is the 4v5 that Legacy actually take that they can win effectively because they get control of the map further. Yes, they die, but they were fighting between two turrets on Abyss's side of the map. That's a fight that they should never even dream of winning, yet they still get a 1-for-2 and a turret with it.
And a successful disengage afterwards.
Now, once again, really well done from them. And this all kicks off with Carbon. I think he was trying to predict a flash, or just straight up missed it. Could have been a kill under Raid. Raid actually does a lot of work past this point after the stun hits. Constantly hitting everybody as best he can, as Pac-Man keeps them busy. The teleport as well, Seb being able to get here sooner rather than later helps them out for this. They do a lot of work here, honestly.
Just can't quite chase that one out. As you can see, Cloud Drake's going to be the next dragon. Up relatively soon as now Carbon and King clearing out vision once again here in the Abyss jungle. Abyss actually took that one down while that replay was happening. Inner turret falls in the mid lane though. Luch, so much damage to the culling. Really ramping up on this Victor and will have to be very careful. Goes back to base now after clearing out the wave. Void Staff is done. Is it going to be enough? Raid so close to that Infinity Edge. These power spikes are just feeling too little too late for Abyss.
Yeah, given the lead that Legacy have got for themselves, the Void Staff means that Luch will still be doing damage, but that's very much a relative feature to that of Legacy, who are all doing damage themselves.
Yeah, this is a 4-item Lucian. King is so big.
The rough spot for Abyss. In game number 1, it feels like they've just slowly conceded more and more of this map until there was nothing left. They haven't lost their base, but it's close to being broken now. There's an open inhibitor.
Well, it does feel like Abyss. You never really count them out. They're going to have to call on everything that they have in order to get back into this game.
Yeah, there's not much left for Legacy to take. So if they decide to go full CLG EU on it, Abyss could. They have a Victor for wave clear. They have a Swain for a frontline tanky member with Seb. And they've got a Janna Sivir. So wave clears there. Damage is still there. Those disengage. Whoa. Speaking of.
Yeah, Tally looking for the Mega Gnar. Doesn't find it. Or the Gnar.
Yeah. The Legacy have actually made a decision. Now they want to work where the open inhibitor stands. No turret for Abyss to hide behind. Means that they might actually meet each other on an open battlefield. Taking this the gentleman's way Legacy instead of playing the map.
You can see Choose is pushing up the mid lane as well. Sun Turret is there in place of that inner. The inhibitor's already down to half health. Pac-Man slowed as there's the Unbreakable. Sorry, the passive from the Braum, but my god, the fight is on. Seb taking a whole host of damage as now the Monsoon healing up Abyss. They're trying to fight this one out as Pac-Man doing work there. Nice body slam, and Tally's going to pick up the kill. Raid has to get the heck out of this team fight as they've got low health bars, but King is just dancing around this one. The inhibitor is going to die. It was a decent effort from Abyss, but just too little too late.
If that gold lead was any closer, it felt like Abyss might have been able to do it, but Choose and King are doing a lot of damage to the enemy team. They get themselves the inhibitor. It was brute forced by Legacy, but done quite effectively. If that Mega Gnar was actually there, though, from Tally, could have potentially been lights out.
He's been the most successful Gnar that we've seen so far in the OPL as well. Looking good here for Tally.
And by that, we mean in Mega Gnar form.
Or just in general.
Because Pac-Man did win a game successfully against the Trundle.
Ah, yes, good point.
But we haven't seen a single Mega Gnar really connect in a team fight. Or utilize any teleports effectively in that respect. Had a different purpose, but Tally proves that it can do both.
Damn right, and was what it was sort of originally very good at. Now Legacy going to deliver a blue buff here to Choose, and then 10 seconds. That Baron will be back up. Abyss, we'll see whether they do try and fight for it. It will be a desperate battle if they do go. 10,000 gold the lead. Now OPL Legends just looking dominant.
Yeah, it feels like Choose even showing Luch who the boss is when it comes to farm at the moment. Putting himself a fair bit ahead of the clock and ahead of Luch, who is usually the CS god.
383. That is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And at 34 minutes into this game, Legacy should have enough control now utilizing the bottom lane inhibitor to let the minions push, to even work the Gnar with it if it comes to it, and make a play around this Baron if it wasn't for that pesky ward meddling with their strategies.
Yeah, nice Howling Gale just gets Baron a little bit angry. They just decided to go for some sort of fight here. The slow comes in from the Rylai's, but Seb able to get out. The vision now removed. They decide, aha, we'll go behind the pit, and that'll allow us to clear the ward.
But still, there is one ward standing where they haven't swept. And there it is.
Oh, what a cutie.
There's two, actually.
That's adorable.
Really good ward placement, most importantly, is what you can take from that by Abyss.
And I like that Seb still threw out the Prey Seeker there. Just sort of baiting the fact that they have the vision.
It's being kicked off. Raid was on the top side of the map. He was too far away to stop this.
Well, Seb is towards the backside as the teleport's very deep from Pac-Man. Does make his way in. Can he? Zonya's in time though. Does so. As the bird is starting to eat at their health bar. Seb now looking for it. Gets a nice double knock-up as the Never move. He's actually in a decent position, but Tally looking for the Mega Gnar. Gets it onto Raid and Seb, and the Sivir is eliminated from the fight. Luch over to the side, having a fair bit of damage, but it's just not going to be enough. Legacy as a unit just tearing apart Abyss. And now T-Gun getting chased down by the Lucian. The teleport comes in from Choose. He's done with this game. He just wants to finish it off as now Luch ghosting after this Gnar, trying to get something back in this moment, but it's not going to be enough as Choose has a lot of auto attack damage onto these structures, and the Nexus is going to be the next to fall. Legacy to take down game number 1 against Abyss.
It did take them 36 minutes, but they do get there eventually. As 1-0 up in this series, it feels like the experience that comes out of the Legacy roster is enough to actually get them over the line and find that victory.
Yeah.
Abyss just kind of sat on their hands and watched themselves lose.
Yeah, and this is a story of King as well. This guy was so massive on the Lucian. That mid-game power was out of control, but we are going to throw it back to Hingers and the guys on the desk to break down the Legacy win.
Thanks, guys. So we saw that just then. Legacy taking the first game in about 36 minutes. Raz, Ejim, what are your thoughts on the compositions to start the game off?
Well, that was unfortunate, pretty much. I think we've seen that composition, or at least the idea of the comp, one game from Abyss. So pretty much what they had was like a composition with Janai and Swain that, honestly, it's kind of, I think it's good if you are playing towards objectives, but you have no hard engage, right?
Yeah, that was my biggest gripe with it. They Legacy had like the Azir early pick, so they were going to have like a long range comp just from the get-go basically, and then T-Gun picked Janna, and I really disliked it. Like Abyss had like the Sivir, they had the Rek'Sai. Their way of engaging is like a Swain flank, and then Sivir just ults and everybody runs at you. And Azir's just going to put up his wall, Braum's going to put up his wall, and it's like a low-range composition into a long-range composition without any engage, and like I don't see where the Janna fits in at all.
Yeah, so let's take a look at this, one of the early team fights from him. Raz, do you want to take us through it?
Yeah, so pretty much like Swain, Pac-Man actually has a really good, we can just start the replay. He has a really good flank here. Problem with the composition is, as you can see, Azir has an amazing ulti coming in through. He, like, Tally zones out the backline entirely. The disengage comes through pretty quickly. So even though, like, yeah, sure, they're far behind in a sense, Abyss, but the composition's just, it kind of counteracts.
That was basically like the engage that I talked about and that we were talking about backstage. Like the Swain needs to flank and he needs to get work done. And that was almost their ideal engage. And then it just failed. Like King played that pretty well with Choo-Choos. They're like, both the carries, the Azir and the Lucian, were just sitting back together behind the Azir wall, just dishing out damage. And it was
So let's take a look now at a Legacy Baron attempt from early in the game as well.
So yeah, at this point, Legacy have every lane working for them. They can push out lanes whenever they want. The problem is that they're not actually shoving these lanes out properly, right? At this point, outer turret is still up. It's still working. Abyss sees this. They can actually just say, okay, well, we can contest it. Like, it just stalls out the game for Legacy when they can just very easily use their push advantage in the side lanes and then converge mid and actually zone them away from the turret.
and Tally based in that fight as well. Like I'm not actually sure if he was low or not, but like he left the bot lane to go back to base in an effort to like TP to the Baron, but then they were just not going to be able to sneak it, and then so like they lose pressure in the bot lane, so Swain can just do whatever he wants, and
Yeah, so let's look at another team fight as well. This is the a top lane play from Legacy.
Yeah, at this point, as if you could just look at Azir's just staying mid, you know, zoning out. But like at this point, like Tally is getting so much pressure. At this point, just like, hey, yeah, sure, he missed the cast, that's fine. But like, focus on the turret itself. Bring in Azir to the play. Like he can get there fast. The fact that Victor was there, got there first, was not. It's not good. It's not clean. So they, like, sure, they lose this fight. That's fine. That's whatever. They still are far ahead in the composition. But that's just a play you don't want to like make.
Ejim, what should they have done? What should Legacy have done there?
Well, I mean, like Raz said it, like the Azir should have been rotating first. I think they had it was basically a free turret for them, and they chose to like dive anyway. They overcommitted, and I think one thing that they were getting punished for quite a lot was actually King's build. He played really well. He ended like with a huge score. He would have done tons of damage, but he went for the Yomo's Black Cleaver build, which means you can't go like Mortal Reminder, and then they didn't have any way to like debuff the Swain's healing. And like Swain heals, Rek'Sai heals, and Janna heals. And so it was a pretty greedy build, and then in that fight as well, Swain took ages to die. In a late game, like a later game fight, I think it was at the bot inhib, Swain lived for so long, even though he's like 0-2, 0-3.
Yeah.
And like, I think it was just like, I don't know whether it was just a mistake on his part or he just chose to go for a greedy build, but yeah, I feel like that should have been rectified.
So how do they regroup for game 2?
At this point, I think the Abyss lineup should just make, like, first of all, start in pick match, right? Go for a lot more of a straightforward composition. Don't go for something that requires you to have a lot more.
That was too hard to play.
Yeah,
like, it was going to be so hard to execute.
Yeah, exactly. So honestly, that's the place they should start and go for from there.
All right, well, let's take a break now. We'll get back with game 2 of Abyss, the Legacy, in this OPL Week 9 Day 1.